Thank you for joining us for Lenten devotion with
Lena United Methodist Church, Pastor Carrie.
and Good Shepherd Lutheran Church and Pastor Miho. Thank you. It has been, how many days now?
Oh, wait. So if it's Good Friday, would that be 40 minus 2 or 3? 30.
So that means 38 days. Thank you. 38 days without Sundays. Joining us with this journey. We went through all the different emotions around, and I don't know about you. I think it was like I really enjoy the time doing that in different ways, and we pouring all our emotions with the dirt and burying it together. And Monday, Thursday video, we pour the water to it so that they got the moisture now.
Yep.
So Good Friday. Now we do something different. What are we doing today?
Death?
Huh?
Death. That's what it says. D-E-A-T-H.
Oh, we're doing this. Can I have some fun stuff?
Sunday.
I can't have that.
Gotta go through Friday to get to Sunday.
Thank you, God. I guess I gotta get through this. Get over this stuff.
Yeah, death is not an easy one. I think one of my biggest ministries since moving out here to Lena has been funeral ministry, and it's hard. I feel like every one of those persons I've only known for at most 3 years. That's how long I've been here, 3.5. And these are, a lot of those folks are folks that people I know that they've known them a lifetime, and they know every single one of the people that I have done a funeral for, and so that's a lot of loss. And I remember one of my parishioners, I ran into her one day, not literally ran into her. I walked beside her. Well, she was out visiting folks in the burial park. And she made the comment that she knew more folks there than she did out in the rest of town.
Wow.
And I know my grandma. Hi, Grandma.
Hi, Pastor
that's what she said. She, most of the folks, pretty much everybody she grew up with, is deceased now. And siblings, spouse, friends, classmates, and even friends that she has now because she lives in a senior community. So, yeah, death is not an easy one for those here that are left with it. So,
and that's inevitable.
Yeah.
It just happens. It can be a friend, family members, neighbors, or the authors you read or you've seen in the TV, or even animals. We're really hard to, those times to say goodbye, and some are, sometimes it's so sudden and unexpectedly, and it's a surprise for really the people around, the family, and it's sometimes really hard.
Yeah.
Than the other time, it's just still hard.
Yeah. And it's been many, many years since my dad died, and I still remember with clarity the night that my family called to let me know, and I was camping, and
okay, so you weren't there.
Yeah, I was out camping, and they called me, and normally I turn my phone off at night, and so I walked out of my tent, and it was the most beautiful starry night, and I would never have seen that if I hadn't had to come out of my tent to, walk off the news, so to speak.
And you're by yourself.
No, I was actually on a bike trip.
Also, there are some other
That
things there.
yeah, that was neat. That was actually kind of nice because I would have been alone otherwise. But I was on a bike trip with a whole bunch of others who kind of took care of me that night. So, yep.
That must be rough.
Yeah. So, but it's still serious. So you think about that compounding multiple times with folks who have just had so much loss, and especially this year when we just haven't been able to hold our normal rituals like we're used to. So
that will be a.
But
the time of the death. I think it's an interesting journey. I have 3 times be there when somebody rests last. And each time, each are so different the way the person are, but it's really that journey part. It's God's sacredness to really think about what life means with the one's last breath. But yeah, I think that's a call as a minister. It's a special call, I think, because otherwise with the family members, more like you can be there, but the people who are not the family member, I'm not the family member, but I can be there with the family member. It's a special. I think that makes such a blessing and the curse at the same time. But yeah, it's learn a lot of those signs. Learn about the person. Learn about the God a lot. So what we do with the death today?
We are looking at Mark, chapter 15, 21 to 47.
Mark 15. Is this a New Testament?
Yep. Second book in the New Testament.
Did I go past Mark? And which chapter?
Towards the end. 15.
15.
Yep. So we're towards the end again of the Bible, but closer to the beginning of the New Testament. And like we mentioned in Thursdays, this is our second interpretation of this story that we hear this week. We heard John's version yesterday.
Okay.
So,
of the death of Jesus.
Yep. We didn't get to the death though in John's version.
Oh, we
didn't.
But
unless you read all the bonus readings. If you read the bonus readings, you got to read that. But and today, if you read the bonus readings, you'll read all of chapter 14 and 15 in Mark. And I definitely recommend that to, so often, and I know your congregation does this also, we get like this much of the scripture on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You get a little teeny tiny bit of the story. And so sometimes it's good to read a larger portion of it together so you can see how the story unfolds. But we just have this
clear story plot going around, and so that it's good to hear so what happened before detective comes and gets the person.
Yeah. All right, so we're chapter 15, verse 21 to 47.
All right.
They would be a bunch of soldiers who are bringing Jesus from his trial out to his place of crucifixion. So the soldiers, compelled a passerby who is coming in from the country to carry his cross, Jesus' cross. It was Simon of Cyrene, the father of Alexander and Rufus. Then they brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of a skull. And they offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it. And they crucified him and divided his clothes among them, casting lots to decide what each should take. It was 9 o'clock in the morning when they crucified him. The inscription of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." And with him they crucified 2 bandits, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by derided him, shaking their heads and saying, "Aha! You who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself and come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests, along with the scribes, were also mocking him among themselves and saying, "He saved others. He cannot save himself. Let the Messiah, the King of Israel, come down from the cross now so that we may see and believe." Those who were crucified with him also taunted him. When it was noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. At 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, "Listen, he's calling for Elijah." And someone ran, filled a sponge with sour wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink, saying, "Wait, let's see whether Elijah will come to take him down." Then Jesus gave a loud cry and breathed his last. And the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. Now when the centurion who stood facing him saw that in this way he breathed his last, he said, "Truly, this man was God's Son." There were also women looking on from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James the younger and of Joseph and of Salome. These used to follow him and provided for him when he was in Galilee, and there were many other women who had come up with him to Jerusalem. When evening had come, and since it was the day of preparation, that is, the day before the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea, a respected member of the council, who was also himself waiting expectantly for the kingdom of God, went boldly to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate wondered if he were already dead, and summoning the centurion, he asked him whether he had been dead for some time. When he learned from the centurion that he was dead, he granted the body to Joseph. Then Joseph brought a linen cloth, and taking that down the body, wrapped it in the linen cloth, and laid it in a tomb that had been hewn out of the rock. He then rolled a stone against the door of the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, saw where the body was laid. The word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
When I was writing up the theme for this, the little theme notes, what struck me was the sounds of that day. So we didn't get them all in the reading we had from Mark, but when you can combine the multiple stories, we talked yesterday about Judas having received coins to betray him, and so you could just, and then Judas threw him down and tried to give him back, and so I hear those coins just hitting the floor, and you had, Peter was told that he would deny Jesus, associated with either 3 cock crows or before the 3 denials before the cock crows, or so you could hear that rooster, and all the laughs that we got in today's reading. They're just the mocking laughter, and you can picture all of the noise going around him. Usually in our Good Friday services, they're very quiet, and we strip away everything, and it's very somber. And I just help think. I mean, they're dragging him through a crowd of people, so you could just, it's got to be so noisy, um, and just all of and hearing the hammer on the nails, and so it just, I think what struck me was really just the cries, and then to hear Jesus just cry out. A cry really of abandonment. You know, why have you abandoned me? And then the women just weeping. You know, it's just, yeah. So
It's very interesting. So you are caught with the different sound happening on this Good Friday.
Yeah.
You don't think that way, but I think it's very interesting because there's a lot of people around. It's a festival. It's crowded. And it's excitement, you know, if it's a festival time, everyone's excited. And festival, I don't know, the festival involved with the execution, that I don't know about.
I know.
Very interesting, this sense of Passover meal festival, and everyone's around in with celebrating. It's the celebration of God's deliverance to my people or my ancestors. And people are like, you gather the family meal for the Easter, like that kind of the part of that's happening. At the same time, they're the three dying.
Well, and it's the Passover of death. You know, death passed over the house, and here it's not. You know, death is coming.
Yeah, it's coming to God's people. Yeah, in the midst of the joy and laughter and happiness, and it's just this excitement, it's going around at the same time. It's kind of the both things we see in there. It's interesting because at the deathbed of somebody, that's what I witnessed. Family, friends stop by and gather while one is declining. And we talk and laughing about, oh yeah, remember that happened and so forth. And one is in a journey of dying. And we hold both tension at the same time in the same room. And it's nothing wrong with it. That's what it is. And that's life and death are so at the same time. It's a very interesting way. I don't know. To me, the word stood out as I hear you read was "come down from the cross." Come down from the cross. Why don't you come down and save yourself? Come down from the cross. If you come down from the cross, I believe you. This sense of our view of what the saving or salvation looks like to God's way of salvation look like. It's so much so see in different ways.
Yeah, and our way does not include the cross.
We are not God. And God is God, and God does in God's way. It's just the way to think about this is the saving that God said, and it's strange the way God said this is the way you'll be saved. How so? That's the question we carry and continue to carry generation to generation. But that's the way God saves. Strange.
Very strange.
It's interesting.
Appropriate for yesterday's date of April Fool's.
What? Oh, that's right. Good Friday, April 2nd.
Yes. So yesterday
we got God's fool thing.
Yeah.
But you know, God really fools us in a way that fooled in a positive way. I mean that it's just. I think it's just like I can't believe how God works around the things. I'm so tightened like this, and this is the only way. It's like worship has to be this way, and I can't change anything. Or the communion has to be this way, or the scripture has to be Good Friday, have this summer, and we can't laughing at this day, or all those things. When those baggage I carry carried myself. And the surprising way God blows those things out to
Yeah.
need to look at more bigger things, what God is doing. Don't stuck with the things what is I thought God was doing. God is bigger than that. And COVID experience, the pandemic was really stripped a lot out of me to really rethink who is God and what God is doing. It's not the easy route, but it's really the God's diligence and God's work is so mysterious, and I don't understand. But God does work. Continue the work it's going. Even the death is in the story of Jesus. I think that's where I find God's love is bigger than I think, and I imagine.
Yep. Big enough to even go to a cross.
Yeah, and it's people so like if that guy come down from there and save himself, that be something. That didn't happen that way. But the saving happened in different ways.
Yep.
It's interesting, and thank you for this conversation and sharing the story. I think that is neat. So what we are doing for today's last prayer part of the activity to do.
We're looking at our pot.
That's it.
See our pot.
We look the pot.
Yeah. So we look at the pot. And
okay. Am I done?
If you look, it doesn't look like much. It's just a bunch of soil.
Yeah, and the paper inside.
Yeah, and so it looks kind of dead. And so we're invited to gently touch the dead places of our own life, as you can play in the dirt. And we weep and mourn for all the deaths we have endured. And you're invited to spend as much time as you need. And then when you're finished, if you have one of the kits that you picked up at the church building, you should have a seed taped to the side of your pot. Otherwise, you'll want to take your seed.
Working on it.
Yeah, they're tiny. And then you just plant your seed.
I got my seed.
Yeah.
How deep do I need to go to?
The ones that you got from the church, they're only 1/4 inch, so just barely under the surface.
So I need to push it?
Yeah,
push
not too far, just barely under there. Perfect.
Cover?
Yeah.
Cover. Tap. Do I need water too?
Well, we had water in there from yesterday, but we could put more water in. I have
because whenever in a science class, we are told if you plant it, you have to put the water in. I don't know if it's still true or not.
There we go.
Okay, and watch. Ooh!
I don't think
it's
not going to do much right now, though.
Because of the paper?
Yeah, and then we just have to wait through a long Saturday. And it probably won't start popping up by Sunday. But, yeah, then you just wait.
Well, we need a nice warm weather.
I know. We were having it, and then it started raining.
But spring's supposed to bring, it's a raining time, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a sign of spring.
Yeah.
If it rains.
What is it? April showers bring May flowers?
Whatever it is, whoever said so. I've heard some of those things. In Japan, each rain in the spring deepens the spring.
Oh.
That's the saying. So that it rains, but the rain really helps the things to grow, to start growing. So I consider that a sign of spring.
Yeah.
And I can have my raincoat and umbrella
Yeah.
and my rain boots.
Yeah.
Before the rainy season starts.
All right. Should we do our prayer?
Yes, please.
Do you want me to read it or you want to read it?
Oh, go ahead, read it.
This is from What Wondrous Love Is This, which is a folk hymn. What wondrous love is this, oh my soul. Oh my soul, what wondrous love is this, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this that caused the Lord of bliss to bear the dreadful curse for my soul, to bear the dreadful curse for my soul. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So we will have the video for tomorrow on a Saturday that will have lots of reading. It's coming out from the Easter visual reading. Not everything we are doing. We pick the one which essential ones. And you will hear and watch the video, and we'll wait until the life emerges from this. Does it look good? Keeps the blessing of the God. God take care of this plant for us and surprise us with your love and the life. Please. We'll wait and see if it comes out. We'll take the picture and share in our Facebook page, so you will see it when it comes around. Pastor Care, you take care till then.
Okay.
Because I cannot grow anything edible. I just cannot. I don't have enough love. So that the plant does not grow. So I will leave it with you with the great care. And once it comes out, share the pictures with us so we can see it. All right, my friends, thank you for joining with us during this Lent for 49 days now. 49 days. Without
39.
Sunday. Oh, 39. Oh,
39
I'm never good with the
Sundays.
number. Sorry,
30.
correcting. 39 days without Sundays with us, and God walks with us. That is something unique about God. Our God is God called Emmanuel with us and walks with us every day. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And you have a very much sacred Good Friday with the God full of God's presence in your day. And we'll see you in the next video.
Blessings, everybody.